Ladies and relationship seekers, Andy here, author of the best guide on the internet. This is a What a great fucking intro. I've teased it. I've said that I'm going to do more relationship content. Here we fucking are, boys. Let's fucking go. I've wanted to do relationship content for quite a long time. But with most of the shit that I do, I like to get myself in a position where I feel like I really know what I'm doing with that topic before I start actually teaching it to other people. I'm someone that lacks proof, that lacks that burden of proof. I don't want to sit there and go, oh, I'm 6 months into a relationship and I'm happy, I'm going to do content. No, fuck that. So 4 years with Imi, my girlfriend, pretty fucking happy. She is pretty fucking happy. We have been through some amazing highs and lows together. Some of that external, some of that inside ourselves, some of that inside the relationship. And I feel like I've learned a hell of a lot. I've also been into really long-term relationships that were not fucking good. My first relationship was 6 years, and that was just toxic and awful. My next one was 4 years. That was not great. I was also in a relationship for about a year where I was deeply in love with her. She was in love with me, but it just didn't work out because I wanted an open relationship, and that was not something that she was going to be okay with long-term. So I had to say, like, look, I think you want monogamy. I don't. I think we just split up. So I've done quite a bit of relationships. It isn't something that I've talked about a hell of a lot. So we're going to change that. We're going to start talking about this shit because I recently have started really coaching a lot of guys on relationships. And so if you're someone that wants coaching on that, feel free to hit me up. But I've been talking a lot more through it with other people. And I've realized that it's a topic that I really genuinely, really get fired up over. Obviously, Imi and I spend a lot of time talking about our relationship, about our future plans, what we want, what we're doing well, what we think we could do better, what we think we could improve, all of that kind of stuff. And so relationships are a topic that I really like talking about. So this is about a minute of me fucking just rambling. Let's get straight into it. We're going to talk about the concept that I think a lot of you guys are going to inherently know anyway, but it's still something that needs to be repeated and needs to be drilled into your fucking mind, which is if you get into a relationship, do not stop improving. Never stop improving. Do not get complacent. Don't slow down. Don't get lazy. Don't go, well, she loves me now. Like, no, fuck that. You need to be working harder in a relationship than you are outside of it. You want to look at the person you're in a relationship with, and this applies to women. So any women listening, that 1% of my audience that's women, this absolutely applies to you too. You want to look at your partner and you want to look at the relationship as like two people who are going to push each other to achieve more than they could on their own. Otherwise, why the fuck are you in a relationship? What the fuck is the point of a relationship? Just date casually. Just be friends with benefits with people. Do that monogamously, do that, with one person, do that with multiple, whatever you want to do. But don't get into a relationship, a serious relationship, unless you have a growth mindset. You have the kind of mindset of like, I want to be a better person 6 months from now or a year from now. I have goals I want to achieve. I want to improve my looks. I want to improve my money. I want to improve my confidence, whatever it is, all of that shit. Do not get into a relationship with someone that does not have that same mindset. And you yourself need to have that mindset. I want you guys to stop and think about the purpose of a relationship or the purpose of two beings coming together and ideally staying together for a long time, but even if not, however long you stay together, what is the purpose of that? It's not just procreation. Yes, that's part of it. But the reason why you would come together as opposed to just doing it on your own. So I'll rephrase that. Why do you think almost every single fucking being that we have in existence, every single animal, everything that we have, every fish, everything, why do they all seem to need a female and a male to fuck each other and form a baby? Why don't they just have one make the baby? Like, why do we need a male and a female? Stop and think about that question. Maybe you've never asked yourself that question. Why don't the women just impregnate themselves? Why doesn't every female of the species impregnate herself? Because on a very fundamental biological level, it is beneficial for the male and the female to come together. Because the male can provide resources, he can provide a mixing of the DNA, so you don't have like inbreeding, so to speak. You're mixing up the DNA a little bit, so you have chances of mutations that are positive, all that kind of shit. He can look after the baby with her, or at least give her resources so she can look after the baby. He can fend off predators while she looks after the baby. It is beneficial for two people, for two people to do something together. Two people will almost always be able to do anything better than one person can. I don't know if there's many exceptions to that. As long as both people are competent, two competent people will do a better job than one competent person in almost everything. And so what would be the point of being in a relationship or getting into a relationship or calling it a relationship and getting serious if it wasn't going to be more beneficial than what you could do on your own? That is the first question you need to ask yourself when you're thinking of upgrading someone to a relationship. And so don't get into a relationship. You're with someone that you already really like and you go, okay, I think we're going to upgrade this to a relationship. Don't go seeking a fucking relationship because you'll be needy. You don't have enough time to get to know the person and shit because you're just rushing to a relationship. Only upgrade a relationship. And I'm going to talk more about that in the future. But only do that if you feel like you and the other person would be better off rather than just continuing to date casually. Like, only upgrade to a relationship because it is positive, because you think it will give you and her or the other person something, not just because, oh, it's been 3 months or it's been 6 months, so we have to call it a relationship now. Everybody by default gets into a relationship, so I guess we have to too. No, fuck that. You can date casually for as long as you want to. You could date for 2 years. I've done it. I've dated casually most people that I've dated. You can date casually for as long as you want. As long as she's happy and as long as you're happy, you can just keep doing that. As long as you're honest and you explain all this and you say, I don't want a relationship. I'm not looking for a relationship. It's not going to turn into a relationship. This is casual. You have to be okay with that. If you're ever not, that's fine. We can talk about it and go our separate ways. But this is what's going to happen. Are you cool with that? You can do that for as long as you fucking want to. That's perfectly fine. But do not ever upgrade it to a relationship just because it's been a certain amount of time or, well, it's what everyone does. I guess we're boyfriend, girlfriend now. No, that's a fucking horrible, horrible way to have a boyfriend, girlfriend relation, to have a relationship. It's also the worst way ever to get married. And so many fucking people do that. Well, we've been together for 4 years, so I guess I got to put a ring on it. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, mate? Are you fucking mentally ill? Are you actually retarded? You're going to marry someone because, whatever. The fuck? That's like the worst way to be in a relationship or a marriage. No, only get married or only be in a relationship, it applies to both, if you feel like doing so would make your life and their life better. If you would both be incredibly better off for doing so. If you're on the fence and you go, I don't know, then just keep it how it is. It's allowed to stay how it is. Or if the other person sort of is feeling like, look, I need to know where you stand. If this isn't going to become a relationship or if you're not going to marry me, I need to know because that's important to me. I'm going to leave. Then you say, I think you're better off leaving because I'm on the fence and I don't think we should get married or I don't think we should be in a relationship because I'm on the fence. I don't think we should just do it because what else is there? No, that's a horrible fucking way to get into a relationship or a marriage. You need to be committed. You need to be fucking serious. You need to have a winner's mindset. You need to go, I'm going to do everything I can to make this the best fucking relationship or the best marriage, or I'm going to be the best fucking father or mother that I could. Like, go into every decision 100% committed, all in, obsessed, making it work, winner's mindset, all of this shit we talk about. When Emmy and I, we'd been together for about 9 months, and we got to a point where we were like, do we want a relationship? Like, do we want to actually be serious with each other? And we sat down and we talked about it over a period of like 3 or 4 months. We even tripped on LSD together so that we could sort of sit there and really dive deep on all this shit and figure out what we wanted to do. And, I told her about having a winner's mindset, growth mindset. She had all that shit anyway. But I said, if we're going to be serious and in a relationship, I need you to know I'm going to push you every day for the rest of your life. And you're going to push me every day for the rest of our lives. We're going to be each other's biggest cheerleaders. We're going to go to the fucking moon. That's what this tattoo, by the way, I'll show this off at some point. I just got this done. I know it's upside down. It's normally the right way up. But there's a guy and a girl and there's a fucking moon on a string, like a balloon. That was from that conversation. We literally said, and she's got a tattoo of a rocket ship going to a moon. Because we said, if we're going to fucking do this, we commit to this. We go to the fucking moon together, baby. Like, we're going to fucking just have this growth mindset. We're going to do whatever the hell it takes. Every problem has a solution. No bitching, no complaining, no going like, oh, I'm unhappy. No, you fix your unhappiness. No, like, oh, I don't feel the same way about you like 10 years later. No, I'm sorry. You don't get to like 10 years from now go, oh, I don't feel the same. No, you fucking fix it. And so we had this sort of hardcore, serious conversation over a period of like maybe 3 months. And at some point we were like, fuck it. Yeah, I want this. Do you want this? Yes. Let's do it. Let's go all in. Let's absolutely commit to this. If we do this, there's no complaining. There's no, being a victim or being passive or any of that kind of shit. We make this the best relationship of all time. And we went into this with that mindset of like, this is going to be the best relationship of all time. No excuses. We're going to make it work. Go into every relationship or start every relationship like that. Obviously start it casual, but once you've been together for, I recommend at least 6 months. A year is even better. Imi and I, it was like 9 months. At least that much time before you call it boyfriend, girlfriend. And if the other person isn't okay with that, hey, like, I'm sorry that you're not okay with that. I understand. Go and find what you're looking for. But you're not going to get a commitment out of me just because you want it. Like, no. Like, you need to be very firm in that with yourself. And you find that most people are. If you're firm in your own boundaries and you say, no, I don't get into a relationship before at least 6 months because I like to have enough time to fall in love with the person, to get to know them, to find out if they have any deal breakers, to find out if we're compatible, to see if they have a growth mindset and they are ambitious and they have goals and all of that. Before 6 months, like, what the fuck? There's not enough time. It's not enough time to see their red flags. It's not enough time to go through some challenges together to see how they react, to see if they'll have your back, to see if they'll be your ride or die. Why would you get into a relationship before that? It blows my fucking mind that people get into a relationship after like a month or 2 or 3 or 4. They say, oh, I guess we're boyfriend, girlfriend now because we spent lots of time together. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? There's a reason like 98% of relationships break up. There's a reason why the divorce rate is like 60, 70%. Because people do this dumb fuck thing where they're like, it's been a certain amount of arbitrary time, and I guess we got feelings for each other, so we should call it an official relationship now. Let's get married because it's been 3 years, and I guess I love you and you love me. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Do not get into a marriage if you just have feelings. Don't marry for love. Marrying for love is the most retarded. I'll do a podcast on why you shouldn't marry for love. It's the most retarded, idiotic concept I have ever heard in my entire life. Yes, you love the person. I love Imi more than you guys could ever fucking imagine. You cannot even imagine. I literally cry sometimes thinking about how much I fucking adore her. But why would I get into a relationship for that reason? That's the stupidest reason ever. My feelings and my emotions, they could change next week. But the one thing that won't change, and that has changed, maybe I'll do a podcast on that. There have been moments where I don't feel happy with her. She's had moments where she doesn't like me. I said to her early on, one of the things, if you're going to do a lifelong relationship, one of the things you have to hold in your mind is you won't always like each other. There will be moments you don't like each other. My mother told me that advice. I asked her years ago, like, why are you and dad still together? How did you last for like 50 years? And she said, you're not always going to like each other. That's probably the number one thing I can say, but you're committed to each other. You're going to make it work. You realize that you're going to make everything work. Basically, she was teaching me a lot of the philosophies without actually saying them that I now hold dear and teach to you guys. Like, every problem has a solution. She said that, not in that many words, but she's gotten that sort of idea across to me. And so you want to have this mindset if you're going to be in a relationship of like, this is fucking serious. Like, let's make this shit work. And you can't guarantee that you'll be together for the rest of your life, obviously. But at least have the mindset of like, we're going to be serious about this. And each day we're going to wake up and be committed to what we have. And if one day one of us wakes up and it's like, I don't want to do this, we'll work through it and we'll try. But if they still don't, that's okay. Like, we had a good time. I learned a lot. I grew with you. And that's why I say growth mindset is the most important thing. Because even if you split up 2 years from now or 5 years or 10, like whatever, you split up fucking 6 months from now, at least you grew with that person. Every day you woke up and you were like, I'm not going to stop improving. I'm going to have this goddamn growth mindset. And she is too, or he is too. The other person is. And we're going to build this fucking great thing. I'm going to build my own individual shit. They're going to build their own individual shit. And then together, we will push each other even further. We'll bounce off each other. We'll be competitive. One of the reasons why I've done so much over the last 4 years, I've talked about it in podcasts and videos, is because I've had Imogen there as my biggest fucking cheerleader. And she's done some wild shit, you guys. She's done some insane fucking shit. Insane shit. I talked about it in a recent video where I talked about something like 4 years with Imi, reflections on 4 years with Imi. And one of the things I talked about is every time she does something amazing, I then go, holy fuck, like, I want to do something amazing too. Because, like, Jesus Christ, look, she just lost like fucking 20 kilograms of fat, or she did this, or she did that, or she did this, or she got a fucking job when she doesn't even have any qualifications whatsoever. And you're supposed to go to university for 3 years and then get a 1-year internship. And she just got the job within 2 months by just walking into a bunch of places with a portfolio and a resume and going like, fuck it, I'll work for you for free. And then one place said, fuck it, yeah, come in on Monday. And then 2 months later, they're like, actually, we're going to pay you because you're doing a great job. Like, shit like that gets me fucking fired up. And then I go, fuck this. God damn it, bitch. Okay, I'm going to earn $50,000 this month. Like, this is insane. You're going to push me. I'm going to push you. And so you want that growth mindset. You want to never stop improving yourself. You want to be 100% serious about a relationship. And if you're not serious, again, don't get into a relationship. Just date casually. And you can still push each other while you're dating casually. You can still push each other like crazy. You can still build something. Remember that Imi and I didn't get serious for 9 months, but in those 9 months, we were pushing each other like crazy. That story I just told you about her getting an internship, that happened in like the 4th or 5th month of us sleeping together. And we were just dating casually. She was seeing other people. I was seeing other people. Like, we were still super, super, super casual. It was just a friends with benefits, but we were pushing each other. So you can do all this shit. Just don't get serious. Don't call it a relationship unless it's been at least 6 months. Again, a year is better. And definitely don't get married before at least like 4 fucking years. Jesus Christ, the number of people that get married within a year or two, it's like, the fuck are you doing? Or move in together. They'll move in together after knowing each other for 6 months or a year. It's like, what the fuck? Are you insane? Are you insane? Why are you moving in that quickly? Wait. Have patience. Build something. And the thing is, like, I get sometimes I'll get like naive or questions. I'll get questions from guys who haven't done this yet, who haven't tried being serious and committed and intentional with their relationships. And so they will say the question, or they'll ask the question, like devil's advocate, of like, what if she goes like, but you have to get in a relationship with me or I'm going to leave. Like, I want this. What you'll find is, first of all, like I said, anyone that pushes you and gives you an ultimatum, hey, they're obviously just looking for something else than what you're looking for. If they're not prepared to wait for like 6 months, they're not that serious about you, are they? Like, that's just, they want something else, and that's fine. Like, say, I hope you go find it. Like, good. But what you'll find is when you have a growth mindset, you don't get these conversations. And when you're deeply honest, you don't get these conversations. If you're honest and upfront with everyone you date, and you're very intentional, and you explain to them, listen, I like dating casually. I really like where this is going. I really like you. I'm enjoying what we're doing. I'm happy to keep seeing you for as long as you're happy to keep seeing me. I'm not going to fuck you and then ditch. I'm not going to leave. Like, I like you. This is fun. I really enjoy your company. I really love sleeping with you. The sex is amazing. I think you're an interesting, cool, intelligent person. If you explain all that, and sort of keep, you don't have to keep repeating it, but if you make it clear, if you keep making it clear, like, yeah, I like you. Yeah, this is fun. Like, and nothing changes, and you're doing that. Girls aren't going to sit there, or people aren't going to sit there and say, like, where is this going? You don't have that fucking conversation, because guess what? They're fucking happy, because you're making it clear to them that you're happy. You're making it clear that you like this. You're making it clear that, like, yeah, I'm not just going to ditch you. Like, I like this. I want to keep seeing you. That's basically the same thing as saying, let's get into a relationship. The reason people get into a relationship, or one of the reasons, and definitely marriage, is to lock the other person down. Because they're afraid, like, oh, they might go and find someone else. They might not see me anymore. So I want to lock them down. I want to fucking lock them down. Is that a good way to be in a relationship? Fuck no. It's controlling. It's needy. It's insecure. It's you feeling like, fuck, they could leave at any point. I have to, like, hold them down. I have to fucking cage them. No. But when you explain to the person, I really like where this is going. I'm super happy. I want to keep it casual. I usually don't get serious with someone until at least 6 months, maybe a little longer than that. But I really like this. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I really like seeing you. Like, I'm really genuinely enjoying seeing you. When you say that, that's the same thing, but without that controlling, insecure, forceful, I got to lock them down. They're going to go like, yeah, this is great. Yeah, this person likes me. I'm happy. Especially if you have a growth mindset. If you're sharing with the other person, sharing with girls you're sleeping with, if you're sharing your goals and your achievements and your successes and your struggles and the things you overcome and all of that, and you're being very honest and open with that shit, and you're pushing her and inspiring her, maybe giving her a little bit of advice if she ever asks for it. If you're doing that shit, and then she's inspired to then go and work on her goals and achieve her shit and push herself and overcome her, hurdles and struggles, she's not going to go like, where is this going? She's like, fuck me, I don't care where this is going. This is amazing. Where this is going is to the fucking moon. I don't need him to say we're boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't give a fuck. This is amazing. Even if we're friends with benefits, this is the best friends with benefits of my fucking life. Are you kidding me? The sex is decent. He's really cool. He's nice to me. He tells me like all the time, like, yeah, I like where this is going. He's not going anywhere. He's pushing me. He's achieving shit. Yeah, he's not where he wants to be. He's not perfect, but like every day he wakes up and does a little bit of action, and that's fucking inspiring. He's helped me with some of my goals. He's pushed me to go to the gym, and I'm really fucking inspired by that, and I can't wait to be a better version of myself. Why the fuck am I going to say, like, when can we be boyfriend, girlfriend? No, I'm going to shut my mouth and be grateful for what I have. This is amazing. And then the day you do wake up and say, hey, I've been thinking, like, should we just call ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend? We've been together for like 9 months, which was the conversation I had with Imi. It's like, should we just call this a relationship? Like, is this a relationship? Kind of feels like it. Like, we've been together such a long time. You've pushed me. I've pushed you. We've done some wild shit together. Should we just call this a relationship? We obviously talked about it, like I said, and got to a point where we're like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go all in. Let's fuck it. This is a relationship. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's build something. You don't have those conversations. Like, people won't have those conversations with you of saying, like, where is this going? What are we? Can we put a label on the relationship? No. That never happens. It doesn't happen because they're fucking happy with where things are or where things are going. They're like, this is amazing. I don't give a shit what we label this. Like, I don't give a fuck what this is labeled. I've said to Imi a million times, I don't believe in the person. I personally don't believe in the concept of marriage for me. If you want to get married, fucking have at it. I've worked with clients who are married. I've worked with clients who want to get married. A lot of my coaching clients actually want to get married and have kids. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man, get married. But I personally don't want to get married. It's not an institution that I believe in. When the divorce rate is like 60, 70 something percent, I don't believe in that. And yes, I would probably be the 40 or 30% that doesn't get divorced. But why do I don't need to indulge in that institution, do I? I don't need that label that like is fucking half worn off and broken by default. I don't need that label. Again, that's a personal decision. So I've made it very clear to Imi, I'm never going to get married. Like, I just don't want it. It's not something I'm ever going to do. And she's someone that always dreamed of herself as like being a wife or being, I want to be a bride. I want the wedding. I want to get married. I want to do all that shit. Like, I want all the labels. Like, I want that shit. I want to be like Mrs. Andy's woman. Like, I want all that shit. I nearly doxed myself. I nearly said what my last name is. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, you guys can probably find it. I made it very clear, like, from the start, like, I'm never going to get married. Now, did she or will she or has she ever had a point where she's like, we've been together 4 years. Has she ever had a point where she's like, yeah, honey, like, are you sure you don't want to get married? Like, I want to know where this is going. Like, I just want the label. No, fuck no. Why would she ever have that conversation? We've talked about it and she's like, I don't care. Like, yeah, I always wanted to get married. Yeah, it's really, if it was someone else, she's literally said, if it was someone else, yeah, I'd want to be married. But with you, no, fuck no. I'm just grateful for this. And I've committed in other ways. And that's what I mean when I say labels. The tattoo is one. All the growth mindset shit that we've had together, all the ups and downs, Jesus, all the insane shit we've overcome together, me sharing my coaching with her. She does a lot of work behind the scenes. I've talked about that. We kind of do the podcast together a lot. She does a lot with me. Our goals are basically very like shared with each other. And I share, her goals with myself. I share her goals. And when you're doing all that shit, why would you need to put a label on it? Like, and again, if you want to get married and put the label, fucking do it. But I don't. And why would she need that? She's never going to have the conversation of like, where is this going? When are we going to get married? Because she's like, this is amazing. Are you kidding me? We're going to the fucking moon together. What do I give a shit if we're married? What do I give a shit what the label is? This is amazing. And that's why I say to you guys, if you have this growth mindset, if you make it clear to a girl that like, yes, I like seeing you. I'm going to keep seeing you. Yeah, we're friends with benefits, but like, what an amazing friends with benefits. This is amazing. I don't want this shit to end. This is cool. If you make that shit clear and push her with her goals, she's not going to sit down. I've never had anyone sit down and say, can we put a label on this? Why do you need a label when it's better than the fucking label? What you have is better than the fucking label. Why would Imi want to get married with me when it's like, bro, most marriages are shit. Why would we want to be married? What we have is fucking cooler. We can just invent a word for what we have. I mean, you'd say relationship or partnership, but, or commitment, something like that. But like, why would we want to get married? And when what you're doing with a girl is so fucking cool, she will have in her mind, like, why do I need this to be boyfriend, girlfriend? Like, what do I give a shit? Like, this is cool. And maybe sometimes there's pressure from friends and family and they go like, are you guys dating? Are you guys whatever? And if that comes up, you just tell her, just say whatever you want. Just say we're seeing each other. Just say we're dating. Like, whatever you fucking want to say. I don't care. Just say whatever you want to them. But I personally am not going to call it a serious relationship or a relationship until X, Y, Z, until, 6 months, 9 months, whatever it is. So hold firm on those boundaries. They're very fucking important. But yeah, you're going to find you just don't have this conversation. Girls just don't give you this conversation. They don't. because they're happy with what you have. I've gone completely off on a tangent. I guess I'll start wrapping up here. We'll be here fucking forever, but you can tell this is a subject I get super fucking passionate about. On the actual title of what I have, Don't Stop Improving, that has to be fucking mandatory. So you have to have this growth mindset the entire relationship. Don't ever get complacent. She obviously needs to have the same shit. If she doesn't, just keep it casual. That's fine. Like, it's just casual. But don't call it a serious relationship. Don't let it evolve into a serious relationship unless she is understanding that she can't just get lazy. She can't just get fat. And even if you have kids, she can't just get a mum bod. Obviously, you allow for, like, sure, you know, when the baby first comes out, I don't expect her to fucking lose all the weight within the first month. Like, yes, reasonable, but she can't just go like, I'm a mother now, so I'm going to just gain 30 pounds of fat and just look like this for the rest of my life, and I'm going to dress in fucking tracksuit pants and, you know, look like shit. It's like, no. And you have to have the same shit. You don't get to just slowly bald and look like shit and just, you know, not groom yourself and let yourself go and drink beers and sit around eating fucking Twinkies and Doritos. No, you guys have to work on yourselves and constantly improve yourselves and be ambitious and have goals and keep achieving and keep being the person that she or he fell in love with. I see this a lot where someone will, like, a relationship will start and one or both of them will kind of get complacent and things just kind of fizzle out. It's not like one person says, oh, you got fat, you need to lose it, or, you know, you're not the man I fell in love with, or any of that shit. It just kind of like slowly falls apart, almost like it just, you know, died with a whimper, not a bang. And that is because they both stopped doing the things that made them fall in love with each other. They stopped being ambitious. They stopped having hobbies. They stopped hanging out with their friends. They stopped having that growth mindset. They stopped having things they wanted to achieve. And at some point, they just settled into complacency or settled into the relationship. You absolutely need to keep being the person that she fell in love with. The way I phrase it is, you want to be even more of the person that she fell in love with. And so if you're ambitious, which all of you are because you're watching a self-improvement channel, you want to work harder and harder on your goals over time. And yes, the further along you get more efficient. I'm more efficient, so I don't have to like bust my ass to work on goals now, but I do work fucking hard. A better way of phrasing that is like, when I bust my ass right now, I get the results 10 times faster. So it's not like I'm struggling. That's a better way of phrasing it. But you still bust your fucking ass. I wake up every day and I bust my fucking ass. I have one day off a week. That's it. That's it. You want to bust your ass every single fucking day and give her a reason to fall in love with you every single day. To keep falling in love with you, especially if we're talking about a serious relationship. Again, none of this applies to casual friends with benefits. Even then, I guess it still applies, doesn't it? You want to wake up every day and be a better version of yourself. So she goes like, wow, this guy's fucking amazing. Every time I meet him, he has a new cool success to tell me. Fucking hell, this is inspiring. So yes, do it then. But in a relationship, it's ultra, ultra, ultra important. Her respect and admiration for you should rise every single week or month or year that she's with you, every day. Every single day. Like, after 4 years, she should respect you 100 times more than she did at the start. And I think for a lot of relationships, it's the polar opposite. It's like they fall in love with this honeymoon period and these feelings and infatuation. And, oh my God, I love you, honey bunny. Oh, you're my schnuggums, like all that shit. 4 years later, they're like, he's okay, I guess. No, fuck that. Imi tells me basically every fucking day how much she admires me, respects me, how much she looks up to me, how she's in awe of me. She said that. I tell her the same shit. I'm like, holy fuck, you're amazing. Like, the shit you've done, I don't even know how you've done this shit. You have more courage than like 98% of my coaching clients, and they're fucking like men who are testosterone and shit. You've done wilder shit than most of them, maybe 99% of them. Now, I'm biased because I've been with her for so long, so probably that's a bit unfair, but I'm really fucking in awe of her. You want to be having that feeling every day of like, I inspire awe in the other person or admiration over time. I'm doing more and more shit, wilder shit, coolest shit, better. I'm being more efficient. I'm a better version of myself every day. And they need to be doing the same thing. And the way you do that is by just having fucking goals and just not getting lazy. Like, work harder. I want to make something very clear in a relationship. Your biology or that natural kind of like, I guess you'd say biology, you're going to want to be like a lazy little bitch the further along you go in a relationship. It's just natural. It's natural. And so you need to actively counter that. Even me, I've had periods of time where I just want to be lazy and just cuddle her. I don't do it anymore, but it was in the first maybe like about 2 years into the relationship. I had this period where I was like, this is so nice. It's like familiarity, comfort. It's like, it feels nice to just cuddle and hang out with your girl and not go out and see your friends or not push yourself with your goals. Like, you just want to lay there and watch movies on the couch, watch Netflix. I caught myself doing that after doing it for about 2 months of just, we watched like a bunch of movies in a row. Like, we'd basically spend every second day just, she'd come over and we'd just watch like 2 movies in that day. And after like a month or 2 of this, I was like, holy fuck, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this? I pulled myself out. I had a conversation with her. I was like, babe, we shouldn't, why? I don't want us to just sit there and watch like 2 movies every day. What the fuck are we doing with our lives? We have goals. We have ambitions. Like, is this what you want your life to look like? And she was like, no, I've been feeling the same. I'm so glad you brought this up. Like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good doing this. There was something inside me, and I was about to say the same shit to you. I was about to tell you, this feels like complacency. This feels like I can't respect myself. I'm respecting you less. And I was like, fuck, okay. Like, we got to keep each other accountable. And so once a week, we sit down and we go for a walk and we talk through a bunch of this stuff. I've talked about doing a once a week accountability check-in with a friend or a mentor, or if you do my coaching, you know, obviously I'm that person, or you can do it in a relationship. I do it once a week with Imi. And you will go through a bunch of different questions to keep each other accountable. And one of ours is literally, did we use each other for self-medication, like for being lazy and to just like for comfort, or did we push ourselves and get the things done that we wanted to get done? We ask that every week. Every week we ask ourselves that. Maybe once every 10 weeks, the answer will be like, yeah, fuck, we were really lazy and like we didn't do it. We just used each other for comfort. And then we'll go, okay, what do we need to change to make sure next week is, you know, we push ourselves a little more? And I'll make it clear, we still have plenty of comfort. We have plenty of fucking cuddles. We have plenty of time where we just hang out and enjoy each other's company. We love to like meditate together. We would just lay there, no music, no nothing. And she'll just lay on my, you know, chest, and we'll just lay there for like an hour just thinking. And that's probably my favorite, other than sex, that's my second favorite thing that we ever do together. And she said the same thing. She's like, that's the most amazing thing we do. We just lay there and do nothing, just exist in each other's company. So we still do all that shit. But in addition to that, you want to be pushing yourself like fucking crazy. Don't let that comfort, you know, and it's a beautiful part of a relationship. The comfort, the cuddling, the spending time together, that's a fucking, that's why, part of the reason why you're doing it, right? It's a magical part. But don't let that sneakily, you know, become the entire part of the relationship or the majority. And your biology will push you. As I'm telling you this, a lot of you go, no, it won't. I'll stay fucking strong. No. Your biology will want you to be lazy because it feels good. It feels really nice spending time with someone. It really does. With someone you care about, maybe even someone you love. It feels really nice. But make sure you use that as the reward for busting your ass. And one of the ways that Imi and I do this is we'll go, okay, in the morning, we need to go to the gym. We need to, you know, I do my podcast at 6:30 in the morning right now. I'm recording this podcast. I do my coaching calls about 10 a.m. Get all that done. And then in the afternoon, I'll do a little bit more work. And then I'll say after maybe like 3 p.m., maybe 2 p.m., some days 3 p.m., come over, or we'll go for a walk, or I'll come see you, and we'll spend the rest of the day together. Excuse me. We'll spend the rest of the day together, and then I go to bed about 7 p.m., or I start winding down for bed about 7 p.m. And so use the time together as the reward for doing your goals, for working on your goals. I work on the goals from like 5 a.m. until, you know, I don't know, 3 p.m. maybe 2 p.m. some days, 2 or 3 p.m. So what's that? That's like 9 hours, 8 or 9 hours, sometimes more, sometimes a little less. I will bust my ass, she will bust her ass, and then, hey, we get to spend the rest of the day together and do whatever shit we want. So don't fall into the trap of just being lazy and complacent and thinking like, you know, she loves me, we've been together for 4 years, like she's not going anywhere. No, fuck that. No. That is the time you need to work even harder. Respect is the most important thing. You don't want to relax and wake up one day and the other person doesn't respect you because you're not doing anything worthy of respect. You're just being her hangout buddy. No, work on yourself. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Let me check through my notes. Okay, one more thing I can say is if you're constantly improving yourself and if you're having this growth mindset, you will also have this, you know, feeling, or it will feel like my life is pretty good. And yes, I adore this person. I love her to bits, but I don't need her. I want her. I don't need her. Like when I say that, my happiness isn't contingent on her. If she was to leave, yes, I would be fucking sad. Yes, I would grieve. Yes, I'd go through all that shit. Yes, it would take me a while to get over all that shit, but I would still have things going on in my life. I wouldn't fall into a pit of despair. That has to be the place you're in before you even think about a relationship. And again, so many people get into a relationship not in that mindset. They're just like, I need the other person. You're my whole world. I've never said to Imi, you're my whole world. You're my everything. You know, I'd be lost without you. Oh my God. I think she'd freak out if I said that shit. She'd be like, honey, what are you saying? Is everything okay? Like, I wouldn't even say that. Even if I said that, she'd probably laugh. Okay, maybe I'll, as an experiment, there's no way I can video it, is it? Maybe I could do a hidden camera. Whatever, I'm not going to do that. I'll say it as an experiment. I'll say it to her. I'll try saying it to her. Even as I say that, I don't want to because it just feels weird. I'm never going to say, like, you're my everything. She'd go like, that doesn't sound... She'd literally say, that doesn't sound healthy. What are you doing? Are you joking? Like, that's not healthy. And what do you mean everything? You have your coaching. You have your friends. You have your hobbies. Like, you have your gym. What do you mean everything? I'm a part of it. I'm an important part of it, but I'm not everything. You want to have that kind of mindset of like my friends, I've said this to Imi. I love the fucking shit out of her. She's so important to me. But I have said in terms of priority, it's like my ambitions are first and then my like habits that are really important are second, like going to the gym, you know, going outside every day, talking to other people. And then I've said to her, you're like equal number 3 with my friends. Maybe you're sometime, I'd say equal. You're equal number 3 with my friends. I've said that to her. It's like my ambitions and hobbies and like no one's getting in the way of that ever. Like if you got in the way, which why would she? I'd have to say, look, sorry, we're going to not see each other anymore. Below that is my habits. Like no one's going to stop but why would she stop my good habits? That doesn't even make sense. You're number 3 along with my friends. Like you're in that same category. And she's like, yeah, you're the same with me. At the start, it was not like that. I had to teach her that. At the start, she's like, I love you so much. She wasn't like needy at all. She very much kept up her habits and her hobbies and that. But she had this feeling of like, she even said to me sometimes I feel so overwhelmed by how strongly I'm like in love with you. Because I'm her first relationship. We met when she was 18. She goes, sometimes I feel so overwhelmed by how much I'm in love with you that I worry that I might lose myself. And I was like, bingo, good job. You figured it out. Yes, you have to keep up your hobbies. You have to keep up your friends. I have to rank below your hobbies and your goals and maybe your friends, at least equal. I think equal. I think equal is pretty good. I have to rank number 3. And she was like, oh, that makes sense. And I was like, yeah, because you can't. This is what people talk about when women say, like, I've lost myself or he's controlling. Or guys say, I became needy and I got one-itis and I became like a beta male. And I stopped hanging out with my friends. It's like, yeah, because you put her as the highest rank. No one in a relationship should be the highest. It should be your goals and your ambitions and your growth mindset, the shit you want. And then your habits that you keep up that keep you in that state of happiness. So that for some people, that's going to the gym. For others, that might be walking the dog. For other people, that might be just exercise. For other people, that might be watching what you eat. For other people, that might be having time to meditate every night. For other people, that might be hanging out with your friends. Hanging out with your friends, for a lot of people, is more important than the relationship. Because if they don't hang out with their friends, they lose themselves and they become depressed. And sometimes people will go, but the relationship, I love her. My feelings for her or him are stronger than anyone else, so that should be at the top. No. That's precisely why it shouldn't be at the top. Your ambitions and goals have to be higher than that. You have to have a higher calling, a purpose. You have to be an independent human being. Literally. And then you come together and join together as 2 independent human beings who are going to push each other and make each other better. God, I've like talked about 15 different topics in this fucking podcast, haven't I? Maybe I should do an individual one on every individual topic here, but I get fired up about this shit. So please don't feel like you need the other person. It's a horrible way to be in a relationship. You want to want the other person. I want Imogen more than you guys could ever fucking imagine. You have no idea how much I fucking want her. Like, holy shit. But I've never and I will never, and it's impossible for me to wake up one day and go, I need you. The day I do that, and I've had some days like that. Some days you will feel like that. 2020 was pretty fucking rough. All that authoritarian shit and all the lockdowns and all that insane shit. I was drinking every single fucking day. I did have some days where I woke up and I was like, I need you. I literally said to her, I feel like I need you today. Fuck. What do I do? And I thought, and I was like, all right, baby, I'm going to record a podcast so that at least is me doing my own thing. I think I'm going to go for a walk. And then I will call my friend and I'll call my mother. And you go off and do like whatever you want. And she came up with a list of things she was going to do. And I was like, okay. And then 3 hours from now, we'll come back together. 5 hours from now, we'll come back together and see how we feel. So I went off and did my shit. She did her shit. We came back and I was like, yeah, fuck, that was good. I don't ever want to need you like that again. And she was like, yeah, I didn't like how that felt. Like, I didn't like that I needed you as well. She said it feels like falling, like getting sucked into a black hole where you lose yourself. And I was like, yeah, that's what most relationships are like. They become needy, one-itis for each other. I love you. You're my soulmate. Oh my God. Don't get me started on soulmate and the one. There is no one. There are lots of ones. There are lots of people that are great match for you that would be amazing. And then you just pick which one. Or sometimes there's luck involved as well, obviously. And you pick the one that you pick someone who's good enough and you build something fucking amazing together. But don't ever feel like you need someone. I would be okay without Imogen. I'd be fine. I'd be fucking miserable for the first couple of months. Jesus fucking Christ. After how much shit we've been through together and built together. But then after that, it's like, and even during that, I'm going to keep doing podcasts. I'm going to keep up my coaching. I'm not going to just fall into a hole and be like, sorry guys, I can't do coaching because I'm sad. No, I'm going to keep up the habits because my ambitions are number one, remember? And so if Imogen dies or leaves me or fucking something happens, I still have the goals as number one priority and nothing's getting in the way of that, even my grieving and sadness. Obviously, I'd be less effective and the podcast probably wouldn't be the most amazing podcast of all time. That's okay. I'm still going to work on them. Below that is my habits. So I'm not going to shut myself in my bedroom and not go outside. No, I'm going to go outside and talk to people and I'm going to spend time with my friends and I'm going to go do interesting things and go sit on the beach and do all of that to help me process the breakup or the death or whatever it is. And then below that, remember, is the relationship, third priority. So if the relationship fails, I have two things above that that are more important, or two things above that that are a higher calling. Phrase it like that, a higher purpose. I don't need her. I want her. I don't need her. Never get yourself in a position where you need the other person. So I think I'll finish up there. I think that's all I wanted to say. My God, I have so much more to say, actually. I'll do it in separate podcasts. I now that I'm starting to talk about this relationship shit, like, I think I've opened that fucking Pandora's box. I have like 100 different podcast ideas I've written down. I'm going to get Emmy on for a lot of them. Like I said, I really love talking about this relationship stuff. I've talked about this with so many of my clients. Like, I get fired up about this shit. I love when someone will come to me and say, Andy, yes, I want to get laid a little bit, but I want marriage and kids. And I'm like, fucking yes, this is the shit I get fired up about. Let's talk about this shit. So, if any of you want coaching on this shit, you want to sit down and talk about like relationships, finding a relationship, building a relationship, how to transition a casual relationship into a serious one, how to go all in, how to make it work like I have with Emmy, all that kind of stuff, hit me up for coaching. I'll leave a link in the description below for that. If you just want normal coaching, you just want to get some pussy, hit me up for that. I am doing a discount for the next probably like 8 days maybe. So basically the next week. So group coaching instead of $5,000 is $3,500, and one-on-one instead of $15,000 is $10,000. So massive fucking discount there. Really, really, really want to hit some milestones of my own. That's why I'm giving the discount. I'm really fucking close. And if I hit those milestones, I'm going to do a big podcast about like how to make money, how to get into coaching, how I did this, how I've made this much money, going from poverty to, not quite poverty, but like many months where I couldn't pay the bills and I had like $30,000 in bank loans and I owed my parents like $20,000, which I've now paid off. Fuck yes. So yeah, hit me up for coaching. Really excited. Really excited about relationship too. Like, I love talking about this kind of like stuff. It really gets me fired up. So I think now that I've done this, I'm going to do much more on this. As always, what do you guys have to do? You know what you have to do. You have to go crush your goals. Yeah, you do. You got to crush those goddamn goals.